We make judgments and assumptions all the time. There's nothing wrong with making judgments and assumptions. We do it to feel safe and to feel prepared. It's possibly what we do with the judgments and assumptions that may need to be under review, but making them isn't a problem. But we're not actually envisioning people different than us in any kind of leadership position, let alone having a vision of actually shifting our work so that we can move from abstract to actionable. Part of the reason we can't envision it is because some of us have never seen it. And by never seeing it, we don't even know that we're not noticing. That's a key word, notice. The judgments and assumptions are informed by our lived experience. Our life, from the moment we can remember to today, right now. Some of you, it has been a life goal that you made it to a keynote at 8 a.m. in the morning, right? And it's in New Orleans. You definitely get double the points. What I think is important is that your life, all of your life, is the best tool you have to work with other people. The point is not to not make judgments and assumptions, but to notice you do. If you can notice the judgments and assumptions you make, you can embrace the complications that is your life, the complications that made up your history that you bring every day, not just to work, but to the grocery store, to the movies, to a sidewalk. If you can know the judgments and assumptions that you make, then you can be responsible for who and how you are. When we say words like social equity, what I think is at the base of it is a place where people feel like they belong. And I don't just mean some people, but I mean a place where complication can belong. Everybody deserves space. Everybody deserves a park. These are critical conversations that matter. The things that you are seeking the answer, capital T, capital A, the answer, probably is a point that you are not willing, you are not comfortable to actually have a complicated conversation. Those of us that think we know everything, take a second and think about something that makes you uncomfortable, that you don't know everything about. That's how these folks feel when you're in your expertise. If you can sit in it's complicated and listen, you will have better conversations. More importantly, you will have better connections. It is imperative for our communities to be able to understand that in the spaces that you provide, not only is it complicated to provide them in the first place, but it is complicated to use them as well. When we talk about inclusion, the first step of that conversation should be, who are we excluding? Crappy diversity trainings have taught us to say, oh, we're not excluding anyone. Yes, you are. You do criminal background checks. You figure out who's allowed to use your space. Sometimes they pay dues, sometimes they have to get permits. You police the space as to who is allowed to use it. If you and your organization, your staff, your team can clarify who is not allowed to use your space, you will be able to better serve the people that you're actually trying to include. I'm a do-gooder social justice educator and advocate. Let's be realistic about what it is we actually do. The key is that it's complicated and everyone deserves that space. If we can just stay there, that's already a lot of work. But it moves from these abstract concepts to actions that don't necessarily result in like immediate results, but actions that result in building community. When we really look at social equity and inclusion, I suggest less paint and more listening. If we can be responsible for who and how we are, that in itself can be revolutionary. If we can do the best we can with what we have, some of the time, we will continue making relationships and connections and having conversations that matter. Everyone deserves a park. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you for the rest of the day.